Good morning, evening, afternoon, boys, girls, in-betweens, none of the aboves, AP here, and this is not clickbait. I am saying goodbye. I've been setting this up for a week now, and now it's finally here, and it's finally time for me to ask you to commit total war on the like button for the final time. I wanted to make this video because I wanted to explain why I'm putting everything away and leaving. And I wanted to say thank you to everybody. I wanted to say thank you to the content creators that I've met along the way, especially MELKOR, who I really appreciate, and with somebody that I very much consider a friend. I also wanted to thank LegendofTotalWar, Mediafeum, Happy Compy Total War, J Monster, all the great people that I've met along the way. But I also wanted to thank you guys, the community that has come out and really embraced me over the last year and has been incredibly supportive of me as well. That's why I'm not just privating the videos or deleting the videos immediately. For the next 5 days, I will be responding to every single comment that is put in the comment section. Unless you start flaming me, then I'll just delete you. Now, the main reason why I am shutting the channel down is something I started to highlight in the last 4 videos and finally brought it out in the last video. I don't want to be part of what I call the gaming or the entertainment industrial complex. I want to preface this by saying I'm not making a moral judgment on anybody, especially other content creators or consumers. I've done a lot of reading on this on my own, and I have a certain set of first principles and values that I thought about and made a decision. I think reasonable people can disagree, reasonable people can have their own positions, but beliefs have consequences. And this was a consequence of my beliefs. When I came back to YouTube at something like 4,800 subscribers, I started off pretty small because most of my subscribers had moved on. I had very little bit of an audience, and I really exploded with Troy. And around December, I kind of realized that I had the opportunity at some point, probably in a year or so, to become a full-time content creator. And one of the very interesting things about Historical Total War is a historical-only Total War channel hasn't reached 10,000 subscribers since 2016, except for MELKOR and Serious Trivia. My plan was to bide my time till the release of the next Historical Total War, slowly but surely building, and my stats were looking really good, especially when you think about the fact that there is no historical game to really get the masses going. And then when the next historical hits, I'll be ready to take off. But as I interacted more and more with the industry, there was a series of very disturbing trends that became clear to me that weren't clear to me when I was a much more avid gamer back in 2013, 2014, before I became, an adult. What's become clear to me now is that entertainment is not being made for the purpose of entertaining people. And I think one of the best people who covers this on YouTube is Jim Sterling. And I'll link to his channel in the description and blah, blah, blah. I spent a lot of the time over the last couple of weekends looking over medical studies on how studies are being done on the correlation between problematic use and in-app purchases and additional content purchases. Because this is something that became very clear to me, that this is the trajectory of how profits are being made in the industry, additional purchases and in-app purchases. And by 2018, there were a bunch of medical scholars who were on the idea that the gaming industry's game development itself is designed to create problematic usage content, and that game design is being leveraged to lead to problematic usage so that people can buy more content. Entertainment in this industry is not meant to entertain. It's meant to get people hooked so that people can buy more content to keep them more entertained, because that's their hook, so that it gets them more hooked, that they have to buy more content to keep them more hooked, etc., etc., etc. And that is a cycle that becomes perpetual and continuous and is something that can be traced back to the giant MMORPG craze that exploded in the 2000s. That doesn't mean gaming, I think, is unethical. I'm not going to stop gaming. I think there's many ways to ethically consume and to not problematically play games, especially as informed consumers. But then for me, being a content creator in that industry started to feel problematic. How do I cover an industry that I feel is motivated to keep people hooked and buying so that it can move money to the investors, the big investors in the big companies? And there are people who are raising awareness much better than I am. And everywhere I look, if I want to go into like video game journalism, everywhere I look, it's the same kind of monetization policies everywhere you look. And alhamdulillah, I am, as a person, incredibly blessed to be a fully funded PhD student. So I don't have to depend on my income from YouTube. This is something, I mean, it became a substantial amount, but it became something that is entirely a supplementary to what I was already living off of, which was my fully funded PhD. And then it also became about opportunity cost. So I can do this, or I can put myself into places where I feel I can greater contribute to society. And that is, I think, one of the greatest drawbacks of the entertainment industrial complex. I truly believe in my heart of hearts, there is more to life than entertainment. Entertainment is something that I do when I'm bored. Entertainment is something that I do when I'm stressed. But it's not what I do in my life. It's not how I occupy myself. My life is spent with my family. My life is spent with my friends. My life is spent with my colleagues. My life is spent reading. My life is spent writing. My life is spent thinking. And when that becomes a bit much, I want to play a couple of games. But when there's that gaming industry is incentivized to hook me so it can sell me on more products, that's taking away time from the many, 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 many more meaningful things in life. And that's the real problem that I think is in the entertainment industrial complex. So I do want to contribute, but I think the opportunity cost of contributing in this industry is too high. I can be contributing in many different places that I feel are much more meaningful to society as a large, and especially my community. And by continuing this channel, I'm putting so much work in to something that I feel is inherently a toxic relationship that I then have to try to find ways to make not toxic. As I said, this is all based on my own opinion. I'm not making moral judgments on anybody. I love all of you. And I greatly appreciate all of you, even if you have massively different opinions than me, because that's what mature people do. Please do say goodbye to me in the comments. I will miss all of you. Thank you all so much for the wonderful memories. I can't say I'll see you next time, so I will say peace be with all of you forever and always.